What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Wolfcryer here, and welcome to ARPG Update, my video series which takes a look at what's going on in the world of action role-playing games. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about that Blizzcon 2019 key art, in which the Diablo 3 Barbarian is right smack in the middle. I wanted to give my thoughts on that. We're also going to be talking a little bit about Warhammer Chaosbane, as they have finally released that console patch. But we are going to start today's video off with some Path of Exile news. With the launch of Path of Exile's new Blight League, also came the release of a new loot box with brand new rewards, as is the case every season as of late. While I personally am someone who likens loot boxes to a form of gambling, and I really don't think they have a place in video games overall, that doesn't mean that I myself am not guilty of buying some loot boxes here and there, but I don't think that they should be readily available to children and adolescents, as it can be habit forming overall. I personally know of people in my real life who have suffered from gambling addictions, and it's a real thing, ladies and gentlemen. But like I said, I have partaken in the purchasing of loot boxes over my time playing several different games, including Path of Exile. But over the last week, Grinding Gear Games also announced a brand new loot box system that was truly not well received by myself or the community as a whole. It pretty much upset the majority of the Path of Exile community. The Salvage Loot Box was a way for players to gamble off duplicate items received from loot boxes to have a chance of getting another item. And the more items salvaged at a time, the higher chance for something more valuable. This is not completely a bad idea, because I do think that players need some way of trading in duplicate microtransactions or some other system to help alleviate this problem for people. But using the salvage loot box cost an additional 30 points as well as the items you were trading in. For a little bit of clarity, loot boxes in Path of Exile also sell for 30 points, which is the equivalent of $3 each. So if a player wanted to trade in 5 items using the salvage loot box, it would have taken $15 worth of cosmetics and added another $3 for a grand total of $18, with no guarantee of coming close to an item of that value in return, no guarantee that you would even not get a duplicate item of something you already currently own. Now, Grinding Gear Games has since removed the salvage loot box mechanic due to intensely negative community reaction. But the fact that a game company implemented this type of transaction still boggles my mind. Monetizing the game in this manner just seems to be based entirely off of greed. Paying more to reroll already purchased loot boxes doesn't really sit right with me. Hopefully, Grinding Gear Games can learn from this and give players a viable way to exchange duplicate, unwanted loot box items, or implements a system closer to something like Overwatch's, where duplicates become a form of currency spendable on actual cosmetics. I would really like to see some type of system like this put into place with Path of Exile. I myself have personally supported Path of Exile throughout the years, and I don't mind doing so, but this seemed to be a very greedy move from a company I don't actually expect that type of behavior from. But maybe you guys can sound off down in the comment section down below your thoughts on the salvage box and what you think Grinding Gear Games can do in the future to help alleviate this problem for its player base. But now let's move on to a little bit of Diablo type news. The key art for BlizzCon 2019 was released this week and showcases the Barbarian from the Diablo franchise right smack in the middle of the group of Blizzard IP representatives. This Barbarian, to me, doesn't seem like the one from Diablo Immortal, and Blizzard does tend to like to keep their IPs represented by identifiable characters, and while this could definitely be some sort of interpretation of the barbarian from Diablo Immortal, I'm not personally really inclined to think so. It lacks any of the tattoos that were so heavily prominent in all of the Diablo Immortal announcement and website material, and in addition to that, it would not seem to be a great PR move for Blizzard to highlight a character from a game that wasn't received very well at last year's BlizzCon. But then again, no one would have thought that last year's marquee BlizzCon announcement was going to be a Diablo game made solely for mobile phones. I personally think that this is either the barbarian from Diablo 3 or a barbarian from an entirely new IP. Hopefully it is the latter, but I am still tempering my hype this time around. I don't want to get overly excited and be let down like last year, but I do think that there is something in the works for the Diablo franchise for PC and console players, and hopefully this is something that points to that. But I'm still unsure. It could just be the Diablo 3 Barbarian. I would also like to point out that Tracer is also front and center in this image, which adds a little bit of credence to those rumors of both Diablo and Overwatch taking center stage at this year's event. I will personally be watching BlizzCon and Diablo news closely as we head towards BlizzCon this year, and plan on keeping you all up to date with the goings-on. I am also planning on attending this year's BlizzCon, so expect some videos from there as well. And definitely let me know down in that comment section down below if you are also going to be attending this year's BlizzCon, as we could possibly set up a meet and greet, that sort of thing. If you are interested and you are going to this year's BlizzCon, let me know down in that comment section down below. And let's wrap this video up with a little bit of Warhammer money grab news. Warhammer Chaosbane news. The long-delayed console patch has finally gone live, with the Chaosbane folks tweeting out, "We're pleased to announce that the anticipated update for consoles is now available." And this comes complete with Facebook patch notes. And now this patch comes about 1 month after the company's update that this would be coming, and 3 months after the first patch's release on PC. Many comments on this tweet seem to express the same frustrations I personally have with this game, as it might be just a little bit too late to save its player base. This patch pretty much simply added the endgame component that was touted before the game's unfinished release. So the biggest portion of this patch should have been in the game when it launched. And while it also adds some quality of life changes to the game, there's nothing really in terms of content other than invasion mode, which, as I said, should have been in the game already. And not only that, but they pretty much released this for consoles on the same day that Borderlands 3 launched. I personally can't tell if they are geniuses or absolutely inept of taking a look around at what's going on in the gaming industry. It just makes no sense with this. They've also released a development team update video, which I will be looking at possibly in a future ARPG update, because they've gone in depth into what's going on with the game and what's coming, and there is some content coming, and I do want to review that, but I still think that everything is a little too late. There are tons of people who bought this game, like myself, who are very upset by the fact that it was an unfinished game on release, and there has been no real content updates. But we'll probably be going over that in the next ARPG update video. But I would like to take this time to say thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. I always greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help me reach 20,000 subscribers on YouTube, and let me know down in that comment section down below if you are enjoying these ARPG update videos, if you want me to continue doing these, because I do personally enjoy making this type of content. I enjoy the research and finding out what's going on in all the ARPGs out there and those upcoming projects as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you so very much, and you all have a fantastic day. Peace.